productivity tends to increase because performance is better. So the question then is, why is performance better, right? What is it about a DaaS solution that allows our applications to run or seemingly run more quickly and with less issue? If you're a user that's remote today and using a VPN to connect into your corporate environment, what's happening is every time you run an application, you're sending traffic across the internet through that VPN back to your corporate headquarters, your data center, wherever your application and your data reside. And you're taking the stuff that you want to work on and bringing it locally to that device. You're then manipulating it, making changes to it, creating new data, whatever it is that you're doing when you're running that application, and putting that data back. So there's round trip time that happens every single interaction you do, right? Whether it's typing, whether it's saving a record, whether it's creating an Office document, a PowerPoint file, working in Excel, doing a macro, there's that constant round trip time of, I do something here, it has to go here. When it's done, it comes back. What DaaS does is it takes where that work is happening and brings it into the data center directly adjacent to the things that you're working on. So now, by virtue of the fact that where I'm doing my work exists within the same 10 gig network, let's say, as to where my server environment is, where my applications are hosted, where my data lives, we find that things just tend to work a bit better, right? We've now eliminated latency from the equation of latency no longer existing between your application on the client side and your backend on the server side. Now, it's important that we understand that latency that we're eliminating is different than saying we're eliminating latency in general, right? Because I'm sure a lot of folks would hear me say something like that and think, well, that makes sense, but aren't we adding latency by virtue of now my user is here and the place that they're doing their work is here, as opposed to doing their work where they are? The answer to that is yes, right? We are adding the potential for latency into the equation, but it's latency that's inherently more manageable. These DaaS solutions were designed initially as remote access solutions. So what that means is they were designed with latency in mind. So a DaaS solution might have a much higher latency tolerance or latency threshold than running a CRM application across a VPN connection, right? Something like IBM TM1 or IBM Cognos, running Great Plains, a Microsoft accounting package. If you run that in a WAN environment across a VPN, or even from a branch location to a data center location, that application sometimes isn't really designed to work in an environment where those two things, right, where the application and the server aren't on that same internal network, because these applications were designed to be run in an office environment where that server backend lived in that same office. The DaaS solutions are designed to work in that capacity. So we can, much better handle the latency that exists between where a user is connecting from in their DaaS seat than running the application here and having the server on this side. So again, from a productivity perspective, right, I like to say proximity breeds productivity, right? Just by virtue of those two things being near each other, we now tend to see better application performance. And what does better application performance mean? Well, better application performance means a better user experience. And what does a better user experience mean? Well, to me, especially in the world we live in these days, a better user experience for my users within my IT organization then tends to also mean a better customer experience for the folks with whom those users are working.